Welcome to 20 Minutes Plus, an expanded edition of 20 Minutes Around Your Town. This month's show is a bit different from our normal program because of the upcoming November 6th election. So instead of our usual 20 minutes of programming, we're having a shorter program, but it will be followed by two longer segments. Two 30-plus minute interviews with both the Republican and Democratic candidates for the 3rd Congressional Districts. In other words, two people who want to represent the district after 5-term Congresswoman Nikki Tsongas retires in November. The 3rd District is one of 9 congressional districts in Massachusetts. Each is represented by a single congressperson. There are, in all, 36 municipalities represented in the district. Many have concerns specific to their particular political, economic, social, and geographic challenges. However, Ayer and its surrounding communities have their own local issues, and for that reason, our interviews focused, where appropriate, on issues relevant to our local area. There are two candidates. The Republican is Rick Green, a Pepperell entrepreneur and businessman. The other is Lori Trahan, a Lowell native and a former aide to Congressman Marty Meehan. And we've asked them both questions about what their election would mean for this specific part of the district. There is a third independent candidate, Mike Mullen, who was interviewed last month on another AIPAC show, Jane's Ayer, which is available on the AIPAC website, www.ayerpac.org. Instead of editing their respective interviews to fit into our 20 minutes long format, we're giving both candidates the full length of their interview time to tell their stories. When voters elect local, state, and federal officials, what they mostly do is either get up early and squeeze in a run to town hall in between getting the kids off to school or daycare and heading out for the commute to work. Or they leave work, fight traffic on ever-darkening roadways, and find time either before or after dinner to exercise their franchise. And I'm sure there are busy stay-at-home parents and retired folk who follow somewhat different scenarios. But the point is, it's not a big time commitment to drive somewhere and cast a vote. Of course, the real work ought to come before that, when each of us gathers as much information as possible and weighs the pros and cons of each candidate's presentations. And that's what we're going to do with this show by presenting you with Ayer-focused interviews with the candidates. We're going to give you 30-plus minutes of listening to each of them talk about their backgrounds, policies, and civic sensibilities. So the election for the congressperson to represent the 3rd United States Congressional District will be on ballots in the district, which consists of the towns on this graphic. As you can see, it includes some very large cities, Lowell, Lawrence, Fitchburg, Marlborough, but also many smaller towns, including Groton, Harvard, Shirley, and Littleton. Accordingly, our questions focus not just on national issues, but also on the needs of the smaller towns in this part of the district. Here's what to expect. We asked the candidates about local, Ayer, infrastructure, as well as district-wide infrastructure needs, about the effect of tariffs, what the candidates think about Donald Trump's false or misleading statements, about their approaches on the opioids crisis, about our local natural resources, what congressional committees they would seek to join, about the business experience they have and their political experience, were they committed to sustain cleanup and turnover of Devons, how bipartisan they thought they could be, about the people who inspired them, about health care, about the Kavanaugh hearings, about climate change. We asked about a lot of things, and we hope you'll listen to their answers. The interviews will follow this show segment on Channel 8 and will be rebroadcast until Election Day. The interviews will also be available on AIPAC website, www.ayerpac.org. After you watch the interviews, we urge you to also watch reporter Dennis McGillicuddy's report on the unheralded work our town employees do to plan and execute each local election. We hope you'll stay tuned for all 3 of these stories. And until next time, thanks for watching 20 Minutes Around Your Town.